Take a deep breath, settle in your favorite chair, and let's talk about the parts of self-love that doesn't make it onto the aesthetic mood boards. Part 1. The Pinterest version versus reality. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to another episode of Cappuccinos Confidence. I'm so incredibly happy you've chosen to spend this time with me today. Grab your brew. I've got a smooth latte today, extra hot, and let's get into the heart of it. Today, we're diving into something that feels a bit loud, a bit tender, and perhaps a little bit uncomfortable. We're talking about why self-love feels so incredibly hard sometimes. If you spend even 5 minutes on social media, you'll see self-love everywhere. It's usually wrapped up in beautiful packages, pink bubble baths, expensive face masks, choose yourself quotes in curly fonts, and women laughing at salads while draped in silk robes. And don't get me wrong, I love a good spa day as much as the next goal. But for so many of us, especially the ambitious, high-achieving women I work with, that version of self-love feels performative. It feels like another thing to add to our to-do list. The honest truth, self-love sounds beautiful online, but in real life, it can feel awkward. It can feel surreal or even impossible when you're used to criticizing yourself the moment you open your eyes in the morning. If your default setting is I'm not doing enough or I should be further along, then being told to just love yourself feels like being told to speak a foreign language you've never heard of before. In this episode, we're going to peel back the layers. We're going to look at why that inner critic has been running the show for so long and how we can begin the slow, steady, and deeply honest work of rebuilding the relationship with ourselves. Because how to love yourself isn't a mood you fall into. It's a relationship you build brick by brick through tiny, honest steps. Part 2. When everything looks fine but feels hollow. So I want to share a reflection with you that I also shared last week. A few years ago, on the outside, I looked like the definition of having it all. My business was growing. I was showing up for my clients with 100% energy, and I was saying all the right things about mindset and growth. I was the person people came to for a confidence boost. But inside, it was a different story. I felt completely drained. I felt disconnected from my own needs. I was constantly performing. I would finish a successful workshop or a coaching session, and instead of feeling proud, I'd immediately start picking apart every word I said. I was earning my worth through achievement, and because achievement is a moving target, I never felt like I had earned the right to be kind to myself. I realized I didn't actually know how to be alone with my thoughts without them turning into a critic. I was used to earning love, not just from others, but from myself, through being productive. Does that sound familiar? Maybe you've spent years being unkind to yourself because you thought that was the only way to stay motivated. Maybe you confuse self-love with arrogance, fearing that if you're too happy with yourself, you'll lose your edge. Self-love feels uncomfortable because it challenges the inner hierarchy we've built, or the internal hierarchy. For many of us, we feel guilty choosing ourselves. We've been taught that being a good, quote-unquote, woman, or a quote-unquote good mother, or a good leader means being the last person on our own priority list. We've become more comfortable supporting everyone else, our teams, our families, our friends, than we are at receiving support, even from our own heart. Our inner critic hasn't just been a voice, it's been a bodyguard. It thinks it's keeping us safe from failure by pointing out our flaws before anyone else can. But that bodyguard has become a jailer. And when you try to be loving, it starts to feel like a threat to the system that has kept us successful for so long. Part 3. Rebuilding the relationship with yourself. So, if self-love isn't a bubble bath, what is it? I want you to start framing self-love as relationship, not mood, not a destination. Think about the people you trust most in your life. How did that trust get built? It wasn't built through one grand gesture. It was built through consistency. It was built through them showing up when they said they would. It was built through honesty, even when the truth was hard. It was built through repair. When things went wrong, they didn't just walk away. They stayed and fixed it. Your relationship with yourself is exactly the same. You cannot hate yourself into a version of you that you love. How do you know if your relationship with yourself needs a bit of a gentle reset? Here are some signs I see often in my coaching space. You talk yourself out of your feelings. Example, I shouldn't feel sad about this. People have it worse. You need constant external reassurance. For example, you make a decision about a £500 investment or a lunch choice without asking 3 people first, and you can't make a decision. You dismiss compliments. You treat praise like a hot potato. You need to get rid of it immediately. Like, just bat it away. You struggle to rest without guilt. If you aren't doing, you feel like you're failing. You apologize for having needs, using words like, sorry, but I just can't, or I know I'm being a pain, but ... You feel uncomfortable being proud of yourself. You downplay your wins as luck or just doing my job. Rebuilding this relationship is alignment. It's about learning to trust your own decisions again. It's about moving from a space of doing to a space of being. When we ignore our own needs for too long, we become strangers to ourselves. Rebuilding self-love is the process of coming home. Part 4. Tiny, honest steps towards self-trust. So, I know you, my loves. You want the framework. You want the how-to. So, let's talk about the practical anchors we can use to start rebuilding that self-trust. We aren't going for a total personality overhaul by Monday. We're going for tiny, honest steps. Number 1, start noticing your self-talk without judgment. The first step isn't even to change the voice, it's just to notice it. Imagine you're a neutral observer. When you drop a glass or miss a deadline, what is the first thing you say to yourself? Is it, oh, I'm such an idiot? Or is it, that was frustrating, let me clean this up? Just notice. Awareness is the first step towards alignment. 2, stop calling your needs too much. If you had an extra hour of sleep, you aren't lazy. If you need a day away from your laptop, you aren't unprofessional. Practice starting or stating your needs as a fact, not as things you need to justify. Your needs are valid simply because they exist. 3, practice keeping small promises to yourself. Self-trust is the bedrock of self-love. If you tell yourself you're going to go for a 10-minute walk at lunch, do it. Not because of the calories, but because you told yourself you would. If you tell yourself you drink a glass of water before your coffee, do it. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you're sending a signal to your brain. I am someone I can rely on. 4. Let yourself want what you want. So often, we filter our desires through the lens of what is sensible or what others expect of us. Start small. What do you actually want for dinner? What do you actually want to wear today? Let yourself have the loud desires and the tender ones without editing them first. 5. Choose one boundary that protects your peace. Boundaries are the highest form of self-love. What is one thing that is draining you right now? Maybe it's a specific WhatsApp group or taking calls after 6 p.m. Set one boundary this week. It might feel mean or rude at first. That's just the people pleaser in you talking. But boundaries are what keep our relationship with ourselves safe. And 6. Build a confidence evidence list. We are so good at keeping a list of our failures. Let's flip it. Every morning, write down 3 things you did well, even if they are tiny. For example, I handled that difficult email with grace. I chose to rest when I felt tired. I made a great cup of tea. Start gathering the evidence that you are already worthy. Part 5. Summing up. Coming back to you. As we wrap up today's conversation, I want to leave you with a few reflection points or prompts. Perhaps you can take these to your journal this evening. What part of myself have I been rejecting lately? Where do I need to be a little bit kinder to myself? If a dear friend were in my exact shoes, what would I say to her? What is one tiny promise I can keep to myself this week? What would self-love look like if it felt realistic and honest, not performative? My loves, if today's episode brought something up for you, if it felt like a bit of a heart tug, I've created something specific for the journey. The Self-Love Manifesto is a guided workbook I've designed to help you explore your self-worth, your emotions, and your habits in a much deeper, more structured way. It's not about being perfect. It's about having a framework to come back to yourself when things feel loud. You can find it on my website at nefegunte.com/shop. If you haven't already, please do sign up for Tuesday Thoughts, my weekly newsletter where I share more personal reflections and gentle resets for your week. You can also download my free Wheel of Life worksheet if you want a visual way to see where your life might need a little bit more alignment. Remember, you do not have to wake up tomorrow magically loving every single part of yourself. You don't have to have it all figured out. You only have to start treating yourself like someone worth listening to. You are worthy of your own kindness, your own time, and your own trust. Thank you for being here with me today. Stay confident, stay kind, and most importantly, stay true to you. Until next time, Nefe. Bye!